Damn, my throat feel like I had sand crawling down my throat. So,
Okay. Yeah, we back. Damn, little technical difficulties. It happens when you're dealing with this.
yeah, technical
Yeah, but
difficulty. So, where did we pick off at?
you said what?
Where did we pick up at?
You were still doing the mantras, right?
Yeah, I was on the libations. Okay. All right. Berea, form, creation in paradise, manifesting as the archangels. Ashe. Yetzirah, formation, manifesting as the holy orders of angels. Ashe. Ashia, the actual physical world in the making, manifesting as our holy divine earthly kingdom. Ashe. Yeshida, the holy divine spark, manifesting as our holy divine magical will. Ashe. Heya, our holy divine life force, manifesting as our holy divine desire. Ashe. Neshama, our holy divine heavenly soul, manifesting as our holy divine heavenly thoughts. Ashe. Ruach, our holy divine soul, manifesting as our holy divine word spoken through us as I. Ashe. Nephish, our holy divine soul, manifesting into physical realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Ashe. Kether, the crown, Ashe. Hakma, wisdom, the supernal father, Ashe. Bana, understanding, intelligence, the supernal mother, Ashe. Da, the great abyss of gnosis, Ashe. Hased, mercy, Ashe. Gavura, judgment, Ashe. Tifrit, beauty, Ashe. Netzik, victory, Ashe. Had, glory, Ashe. Yasad, foundation, Ashe. Malkut, the kingdom, Ashe. The power, force, and might and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow, the great nothingness of infinite beingness of infinite, the great nothingness of infinite beingness of infinite, endless, limitless light from which comes the absolute all. All that was, all that is, and all that is being to become realized into physical realization, actualization, and form. Ashe.
Ashe, Ashe.
Ashe. To all
Uh,
of our relatives and friends that have transmitted beyond here, Ashe.
Ashe. I'm looking for something. That's why. Go ahead, bro. I'm looking for
Okay.
something.
To all the gods and goddesses, known and unknown, Ashe.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
damn.
sent you something. I sent you a video showing that death cross I was telling you about, but it's 2 months prior, so it's not completely current to today, but it's pretty current.
Okay, yeah, I was busy looking for this book I was suggesting last week by
Hmm.
Abdullah Bay, right? It's
Oh yeah.
called Illuminati and Illumination of the Mind. Illuminati and Illumination of the Mind. That's the name of the book. Abdullah L. Talib Mosley Bay.
Okay.
That was the reference I was trying to give last week because when I was explaining how there's only one culture on the
Mm-hmm.
whole planet, there's only one culture, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody just practicing this, going by the ancient principles of ancient times, and they creating their culture around that. So
Yeah.
symbols, you know what I'm saying, concepts, all of these are ancient concepts, and you know what I'm saying. They just regurgitate them. They incorporate it into their way of doing things, and that's all we
Mm-hmm.
see on the planet today is same culture, same culture.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
But
they're
the
just
book literally connects the cultures. It actually, it's called, the subtitle is the ancient musical scales pineal glands, melanin, DNA, and cellular memory.
Mm.
Man, I gotta order that book. I just ordered I just ordered this Moors and Masonry book right here. So you know what I'm saying, I'm reading this one though. So right now, so I don't want to grab that one and then you know what I'm saying. I'm already reading this one. So like I said, y'all, that Moors and Masonry is the shit too. Man, Moors and Masonry going in like crazy. Something you ain't gonna never get taught in school, bro. This is, oh my God. It goes in basically. It goes into the treaties between the European nations and the Moorish Empire, bro.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And we know the Moorish Empire was a so-called black hegemony on the planet, which I've never. That's crazy because when we talking about our history, we will never. Most people who talk about our history didn't never connect the dots on that level that we had an empire on the planet.
Yeah.
Right. I've never heard that before until I started going into this little. I've never heard that before, bro. I swear. That's like wow. I'm like, damn. So, and the crazy thing about it is this empire was ruling. Imagine this. The empire that we're talking about, the Moorish Empire, or what you call the Moroccan Empire, which people will call the Moroccan Empire, but it's really an ancient time called the Sharifian Empire, right?
Okay.
This empire, right? This empire, right, was operating around the same time the transatlantic slave trade was going on.
Really?
And yes, and they couldn't even transport slaves from one side of the Atlantic to the other side of the Atlantic without having tributes to the Moorish Empire. They couldn't go back and forth across the seas until they got tribute payments. Everybody, all those European nations were paying tribute payments to the Moorish Empire.
So, in other words, the Moors allowed them to do it as long as they pay tribute.
Of course, yes. I mean, but the thing about it is, those were Moors too. You got to go. You got to go get A.J. Rogers' book, Moors, not Moors, but Ancient and Modern Brits 1 and 2, right? Then you got to get that book, Nature Knows No Color Line, I think by the same author, right? Where they talk about how Europe, it was melanated people originally. They were melanated people, so it wasn't like we were doing deals with pale skinned people, with other melanated people.
So we were selling our own selves, our own people in slavery with our own people.
I mean, that's already a known fact. I don't know why people are surprised about that at this moment, but that's just because we have been given a whole twisted ass view of reality of that history that we're not even willing to accept that history in its totality. To this day, I still don't hear people talking about the fact that there were so-called black slave masters. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that shit is known. Yeah. That shit was known. I mean, at the beginning, we had the Europeans enslaved before they even came out of to be able to go back and forth across the Atlantic. We had them in slavery.
Yeah.
Or what was deemed as slavery, as slavery today, but was indentured servitude.
Yeah.
Right. And you got to understand the dynamics of the history of that time. It was like a lot of states, a lot of people, a lot of tribes, they wanted to have protections. So they would subject themselves to other powerful states they gave them protection. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how a lot of people came up under the Moorish Empire, because they wanted to be protected from warmongers and shit. They wanted to be protected. The Moorish Empire, for example, the incident with Spain, when the Jews were being persecuted in Spain. Who did they
Mm-hmm.
call? They called the Moors in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they went in and occupied Spain. Well, they say the Moors conquered Spain. The Moors can't conquer what they already were politically dominant over, or authority over,
Uh-huh.
right? Because
So
before that was Spain, the Umayyad Empire ruled in that area, that whole
mm-hmm.
area. Umayyad Empire of the Moorish is an extension of the Moorish Empire.
What about Portugal?
Portugal was a part of the Moorish Empire too, because Portugal literally was an African, what you call so-called African country, was the satellite country from Africa. You know what I'm saying? So they depended on they depended on those natural resources in that area. So you know what I'm saying? The Portugals, that's why you're seeing, okay, the first slave masters were the Portugals, and then the Spaniards, right? Portugal people. Why? Because they was in positions of power at the time. They was in positions of power. But like I said, they was melanated people too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They was melanated people too.
Okay.
That were in
Well,
power, that were in stations of power. Of course, you had pale skins amongst them too, but like I said, the people had the power were mostly melanated people.
okay.
So that's
Well,
kind of why it's
that's
hard to be based on what we've been taught and indoctrinated with Western education. That
mm-hmm.
shit is what I'm saying is far fetched to y'all, because at the end of the day, we were orientated to think that Columbus discovered America.
Well, everybody know that there was more people here. There were people already here, and that's a bunch of crap. That Columbus, they didn't discover anything that was already known
First of
because there
all,
was
they didn't
people from
know.
Africa that
Yeah, they
how
didn't
did
know
they not
about it until
know?
the Moors. They didn't know until the Moors came in, and the Renaissance happened, because the Moors came in, introducing them to all of these different concepts, or these different ideas, and you know what I'm saying, esoteric. Now, this is when they start developing what you call Freemasonry, and they had to go underground because it was heritage. The heritage wars was going on at the time too, where the
Well,
state sponsored, religion will kill you if you were found doing anything else.
oh yeah, the Inquisition.
Right? No, the
Yeah.
Inquisition was later on. I'm talking about the
Oh,
heresies wars, or
oh,
the heresy war.
here.
That was like a little bit
Mm.
before the Inquisition.
Oh,
So,
okay.
see, what I'm
Sure.
saying is they was pushing that religious shit on imposing their religious decrees on everybody, not even their own people.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I'm saying?
that was the Catholic Church. And that was the Pope.
Right.
All
There,
right, using
people
some.
gotta go study the Treaty of Verona between Pope and the if I'm it's either the British Crown or it was the British. They basically named the Pope the seer of the planet. If you understand the seer, he basically is authorized through their other laws, their governmental systems. They basically decree him as the seer.
Okay, now, but then again, above him, in the Knights of Malta, you have the Gray Pope and the Black Pope.
Okay, yeah, but that's all within the same system, though. So, I
But
mean,
yeah,
they
but the
have a
black pope,
hierarchy within a hierarchy. They have a Most of these organizations have a hierarchy within a hierarchy. So it's
yeah,
like,
in the hierarchy within the hierarchy, the highest pope is the black pope, and then below him is the gray pope, and then below him is the white pope. The white pope get
right,
his orders from the gray pope, who get his orders from the black pope. Most
right.
people don't know about the gray pope and the black pope either.
So yeah, the what that Treaty of Verona did was give basically it put the kings, the monarchs, up under
The pope.
the the Pope.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
literally put
All
them up under the Pope.
captains of industry, they have to answer to the pope. All the politicians, captains of industries,
Right, because
have to.
he's basically this is crazy because he's the seer. They look at him as the official seer, right? And when you
Mm-hmm.
understand the seer, right, the seer basically is your connection from the unseen world to
Yeah,
this
he's
world.
the
So you
higher.
can basically right. So you got to understand the dynamics of what they're doing though when eh, they're dealing with polarity reverse polarity spiritual magic, right? What I mean by
Mm-hmm.
reverse polarity magic is they're taking symbolism and perverting it so that they can harness the energy towards whatever demonic agenda that they have, right? So, what am I talking about, right? They draw their power from the direct source, which is we are, the melanated ones on the planet, right? They draw their
Uh,
power from the direct source. So,
yeah.
what they did was they convinced see their whole when you talked about the Inquisition, right? Yeah, the Inquisition
Mm-hmm.
was a campaign to reverse the polarity of the spiritual um, fork way of the planet, right? Because the
Yeah.
indigenous people practice their way of doing so. They had to get them away from that to change the dynamics of everything, bro. They
Mm-hmm.
had to get the indigenous people away from their ancient principles, their ancient folkways, mores, their festivals,
Yeah.
their way of doing things and shit, so that they can
And focus
put them
their
under
energy
the
on.
Pope.
Yeah. So then that gives the pope his power
Right,
through them.
because to this day, I mean, for the most part, they've achieved that. They've achieved that because most people who are the descendants of these indigenous people of the planet, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are wholeheartedly Christians. A lot of them, they are
Mm-hmm.
wholeheartedly whether it's the Latin, well, they're more Catholic in the Latin because that's just another denomination of Christianity, though, right?
They're all agents. They're all agents of the demiurge.
Right. So what I'm saying is, for the most part, yeah, you're right. But for the most part, Christianity literally runs their minds. The indigenous people, I mean. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
you have to understand the power of significance of that on a spiritual level, not only in how it affects us on this level. The Inquisition was very powerful to change and reverse the polarity of that energy, bro. Because as
Yeah.
soon as they change our mind and start getting us to shun our ancient ways, it becomes more
Mm-hmm.
distant to us, and we have to consider how much the collective consciousness influences the reality we live in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Cool. Go ahead.
Right now, it takes a lot of energy for each one of us. Well, it used to, but now it's the energy that we need is flowing in. Like we do have a crowd behind us a little bit, but it's the dark matter or whatever, the ether. But um, we don't have that conscious backup like damn the support. We don't have that conscious support. with the people. They're trapped in a whole nother dimension, and we're close to each other and we're far apart from each other at the same time. I mean, for instance, I was calling you today because I got this crazy text from one of my Christian friends. Man, this shit was crazy, and this is so like them. This is what they would do. I mean, okay. This person tells me, I have to tell you this for a long time, maybe for like the last couple of years, like off and on. I've been seeing this vision of you falling and you screaming and feeling. And the feeling is that you've realized you've done something wrong. And I'm telling you, as a friend, I really think whatever you're doing, you might want to scale back some.
Was he talking about what was he talking about? You? He had a vision of you?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's like the spirit let me know about that a long time ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, like at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can even be like someone who basically does like palm readings, and you can actually see, but you only get glimpses. First of all, those glimpses you get of somebody's possible potentiality, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's still possible potentiality until the individual that you have that visualization it makes a certain
Exactly.
choice that puts them in that potentiality. Is
Yeah. And
see
then
this shit is so you put it like this. Basically, you cannot your visions of somebody else is not their reality.
mm-mm.
Your vision of somebody else is not their destiny.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
So I'm not saying that you can't take somebody's vision of you and use it to incorporate it into your foresight of where you know what I'm saying, in your spiritual journeys or whatever. But at the end of the
yeah.
day, no one you are in control of your destiny for sure.
But, okay, but let me tell you this part here. Okay, she says because I know me and you get into arguments and stuff, and I rather not say it, but I believe that God's put it on me so strong to tell you that I had to do it. So it's over now. Maybe I got to let it got to let me rest. So it's from the demiurge.
That yeah, I was just about to say that. That's not God, that's an ego.
Yeah, that's
That's
yeah.
ego.
And what's killing her is that she's Christian and believe in Jesus and put all her faith in them, and all these bad things happen to her, and she don't prosper, and everything when something happened to me, I end up landing on my feet and prospering and going on, and I'm talking about dark side and shit, and she's like, she think it's supposed to be the other way around. That I'm supposed to be the one suffering. And because she believed in Jesus and Christ and she got faith in them, that she's supposed to prosper and I'm supposed to suffer.
Right.
Yeah, because
I mean, at the end of the day, like it's I see like this is part of what I was saying about the Inquisition has made these people spiritually unsophisticated, right? They're
yeah.
not
Mhm.
sophisticated spiritually enough to all they know is what they've been decreed to know.
Yeah.
This is why they had the Nicene Council. But they
Hmm.
decreed what scriptures would be publicized to the public, and they basically exited the ones that didn't fit with their agenda, And this is
Yeah.
what you're seeing today. This is a mind program. This is, I mean,
Hmm.
they don't even realize it at the end of the day. Like, they're literally looked at as cretins. If you look up the definition of the
Yeah, I know what that. Crazy. I mean, a fucking dumb person.
cretins, right? Like basically someone who doesn't think for themselves.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
dumb
They're
person.
cretins.
Yeah,
So because
dumb,
and this
dumb.
is that's key. That's a key state in order for that spell to even be acceptable. You can be you acceptable to the spell if you're a cretin,
Yeah.
but everyone has the ability, right? I had a
Hmm.
verse that I said I had a verse where I said everyone was born with a lifesaver, right? You were
Hmm.
born with one. Your lifesaver, if you go into the mythology of the Jedi and how they gain a lifesaver, this is a crystal, right? That's particular to that Jedi. The crystal
Well,
picks them. It goes into the deepness of how a crystal picks you. You don't pick a crystal, it picks you. So it attaches to your energy because you were already
uh-huh.
connected to it on a quantum level. So that crystal that you use to develop a lifesaver,
Hmm.
that lifesaver is your light.
Yeah, it's
Everyone
sure
has it. Like
American.
we're talking about the darkness, we are darkness and light manifest.
Yep.
We are darkness and light manifest, and that's the
Like yin
part
and
that
yang.
people want to leave out. The darkness part, we want to leave out the darkness, but you can't have light without darkness.
Yeah, yeah. How many car batteries do you find in the store that's just negative or just positive? Probably
Mhm.
none. They're both
Right,
negative and positive. Okay, masculine and feminine. Put them together, you get electromagnetic spark.
right. You get application. You get things um, working in a synchronization that is complementary, right? And it's like this is what we lose, and we think everything is extremely this or extremely that. I always have to
Yeah,
check people and be like, when they be
it's
arguing, I'm
unity.
saying when most people, I'm noticing now because I've been on that my stuff for so long that I'm balancing everything out now, just
Hmm.
instinctively, right? These dudes was arguing today, the homies, they arguing. I'm like, both of y'all got good points. I'm saying if you incorporate that into your operation, both what y'all both saying into your operations, you'll be flawless.
Hmm.
And I'm seeing like, damn, this is where society is losing at right now. Most of society is either extremely left or extremely right. They don't realize the marriage of the lower self and higher self.
There's a reason for that.
Oh
The
yeah, it's
reason is
systematic.
the matrix needs souls trapped in it so that they can continue on in this evolutionary process of suffering, birth, live life, suffering, death, sickness, and all that shit over and 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 over until man finally evolve into the super being that it is destined to become. But that naturally on its own is going to take a long, 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 long time. However, there are those of us who are doing the hard work here and now. And by doing so, we're speeding up the process. And so that way we will be able to gain the escape enough escape velocity to move beyond the reincarnating wheel and into the nirvanic realms of out of manifestation and into the worlds of the higher gods and beings.
Right. The thing is, once we alter the course of humanity, it can't go back to the same course it was on. You altered it.
Well,
You altered the
humanity
force.
on its own is headed anyway to a level where it's going to find its true self and reach a level of greatness. That's going to happen naturally, regardless of all the
Well,
bullshit is going through now.
this stuff
It,
gets to a point where it's so fine tuned, sensitive to where, like I said, it's a butterfly. It's like a butterfly effect, right?
hmm
If you understand the butterfly effect, a butterfly in some instances can basically go in between, like its fluttering of his wings actually accesses a quantum realm to where it actually gets this effect, which is what they refer to as a butterfly effect, right?
Oh, okay. So it splashes. It's like it's causing the waters of noon to splash waves.
Right, right. Because of the way he's flapping his wings at a certain rapid intensity. At a rapid intensity, his frequency changing at the time. It's frequency
Yeah, that's
changing.
the waters of noon.
Right, right.
hmm
So that flow is what I've been talking about. Remember, we talked about the goddess flow. Yeah,
hmm
she's a part of that too. The goddess
Oh yeah.
flow, right? Because the flow is basically that vibration,
See.
that
Now the
constant
question
vibration.
is, whose flow in the flesh down here manifested? Who is she in the flesh down here now? Because she's here. The
I mean, she
manifestation
was
of the flow.
always here. Is like a lot of times the entities they manifest themselves, right?
Uh
Or
huh.
they're manifestations of a part of us,
Yeah.
our collective conscience, like in that show, American Gods. There was a
hmm
Eurisha goddess. There was a Eurisha goddess that didn't realize she was what was it? She was a goddess. She
Kuan
basically,
Yin.
huh?
Kuan Yin. Was she Kuan
No,
Yin?
no, 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 no.
Like
I don't think she was Ghanaian. But what I'm saying is she evolved
Emiya?
basically. She evolved in the program because she forgot who she act a higher god she actually was, a primordial god she actually was.
Oh yeah.
So she was
I
a,
think I know.
did you watch
Yeah.
did you watch
I saw.
American Gods yet?
I
Did you ever
went
watch
over.
American Gods?
I didn't watch it the whole show. I watched the spoilers to it where they break the whole show down, but from each section. I mean, from each segment, they break
But
the whole thing.
I forgot the goddess name, but she was like the one that was basically she was basically somewhat like a sucker bus, bro, and she was sucking everybody into her womb as she was having
hmm
sex with them. She would suck
Oh,
everybody into their womb. But that
oh,
goddess realized that she was a higher god. She realized she was a higher god in the show because there was other entities there that kind of remind her or kind of spark her genetic memory to realize she was a higher god.
mm,
So, and that's the situation too, is where you are a god and then you realize and you it's like the cocoon stage for a god, like a god evolving to a higher god, and then you know what I'm saying? Then higher than that even.
hmm
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, uh, yeah. Through above higher manas is the Buddhic realm, and then above that is Atma, and in the Atma realm, there's no body. There's no physical body. It's not physical. So it can evolve and evolve and evolve and evolve. There's no limit.
Well, look how I explain it like this. You know, sound is similar to light.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of look at the function of sound to explain the function of light, right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, you can blow a dog whistle, right? Which
Yeah.
is a tone, which is a tone that's above the frequency of hearing for a human. But the dog can pick it up because they have a function in their ear that can pick up those higher tones. This is why you see dogs acting weird when certain things about to happen and shit because they picking up on some shit on a other
Well,
on a whole another tone of sound, right?
well, that
So
happened
you can you
in
you can you can
before they.
you can do the same thing with light. With light are with even frequencies of existence can be
Mm-hmm.
explained on that level too, where you got higher tone and then you got lower tones.
Mm-hmm.
You got higher octaves, then you got lower octaves,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's just dealing with sound. But this can be applied to light, to matter, to dark energy, dark matter. These are just frequencies.
Yeah. Well, imagine the frequencies that are around us that none of us are picking up. But maybe if we slow down and open up, we might be able to pick up some of these subtle frequencies.
So that's what's happening at the particular moment where we evolving, where these subtle frequencies are becoming more less than subtle now, more less than subtle now. They're becoming more.
Oh,
Uh,
they're loud and clear. Things I'm watching things really, I don't know. I mean, I watch things happen much faster. I mean, things I was able to manifest what I needed to happen in my life a lot much more faster than I was expecting for it to happen.
Remember we talked about that last week. It's instantaneously now, so you better be careful on what you intentions and what you put in. This is what's so cold about it, bro. People want to demonize magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
People want to stray from the occult, right?
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Your whole life is based in these practices. Your whole sensory perception, your whole sensory perception is basically an inhibitor, an inhibitor from you doing the magic that you do anyway already. You doing
Mm-hmm.
it. Everyone
Yeah.
is doing a level of magic in their life. Exactly. So my thing
Every day.
is you doing a level of magic in your life, or you being subjected to magic every day.
Or they're using it against them by allowing themselves to be subjected to the magic.
Right. This is what that's the only way they can even conduct magical spells is use or conduct. They use the melanated peoples to actually harness and conduct. They
The
harness that
energy.
energy and they conduct them spells. How do they harness
Yeah.
their energy?
Mhm.
They harness that energy through social engineering. If they can
Getting
get
them to
y'all moving in a
participate.
certain if they can get you all thinking in a certain pattern, if they can get you all moving in a certain pattern, that's the ritual.
Yep. They can do that through music, sports, church,
Right,
all
right.
kind of stuff.
On the spirit
Everything.
realm, when they synchronize y'all in that spring and get you in a beta state, and synchronize y'all and get y'all in a beta state, they're harnessing the energy right there. This is,
Yeah, they harness. Yeah, to bring war on us.
of course, to make us more vulnerable to their attacks because we're moving beyond the vulnerability that we had at first. We're moving beyond that, so they're
But
on
now,
extra
what does
attack
that
mode.
make those people to us now? They make them enemies because they're agents of the archons.
I mean,
The
at the end of
archons
the
belong.
day, look, at the end of the day, right? They always been enemies, bro.
Yeah,
It just
always. But now it's
they're not
real.
only enemies, they're not enemies of just us because we're moving in the upliftment of evolutionary stage, but they're enemies of themselves. Mostly that's the main they're enemy of. They're enemy of
Yeah,
themselves.
they're enemies of their own selves. They giving up their own selves. They turn that over to some
They're
so-called
spiritual hoes,
supreme
man.
being. Yeah.
They're
So
they're spiritual hoes.
yeah, they take no responsibility of their spirituality, of
Yeah, they
their
just give it up to somebody else. They give it up to another deity, another entity. Then they just
yeah.
sucking their ass dry until they get old as fuck, and they
And
realize that
not only that, but that entity can use
they gonna come
work
back
through
too doing
them.
that shit again.
Yeah, that entity work through them as its agent to do war against us
Right.
through them.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
But then when you get to the point where you like fuck humanity, I don't care about humanity like that. Fuck humanity.
Yeah,
You feel me?
yeah.
I ain't man for real.
I mean, that's the sad, but it's the fucking truth, though.
I mean, at the end, yeah, I'm not saying fuck humanity. They saying fuck humanity. Humanity saying fuck humanity. So the
Yeah.
hell, it's hard to, it's hard to, it's hard to bring reconciliation to people who, when you give them the answer, they mad at you because you gave them the answer. They like, I can't complain anymore. Stop giving me the answers. Like
Then they're gonna go
I
say
was literally
God.
talking to, I was literally talking to the one of the homegirls the other day, and basically pointing out certain things that she was doing that I was like suggesting she could change her do her diet here and there and shit, just giving suggestions, right? And she
Hmm.
basically was like, "No, I don't want to hear that because you got to understand that they've already accepted their way of doing things, right? They've accepted that. So when you try to tell them the truth, they like, don't tell me the truth because now I know, and when I'm doing it, I know the truth now. So you know what I'm saying? I know the truth.
Yeah.
What I'm doing is hurting me, and I don't want to know that it's hurting me. I'd rather be oblivious.
Mm.
The whole concept of the trap, bro, is based in that.
Well,
Right.
I
The
sent
whole
you
stuff.
that Johnny.
If you understand the trap house, the trap, that whole mentality, right? Which is a
Uh-huh.
big, which is no, it went over everybody's heads, right? That shit went over everybody's heads, right? But it displayed a cognizant dissonance that's affects our community so well. Like we know that the lifestyle that we've been programmed to think is who we supposed to be, right?
Hmm.
We know it's going to end up. We know it's going to end up in either death or in jail. We know it, but we
Mm.
continue to do it. If that ain't no spell, bro, come on now. That's a
Oh yeah,
spell.
I've been under that spell. I was under that one, and
I
I
was under
found
it
out.
too. Yeah, I was under it.
Yeah, I got sick and tired of being sick and tired of being part of that. I came to the realization I no longer want to participate in this. And after coming to that realization, my life is, I was able to take control of my life and understand, take back the other parts of my life that I allowed myself to lose control of.
Well, the main way I've done the same thing. The main way I've done it is I let go of a lot of desires that you know what I'm saying. I let go of them. Like I still want to achieve certain things. Like I want to be a billionaire, but I don't want to be a billionaire at the sake of people's life. I don't want to be a billionaire at the sake of, you know what I'm saying, stepping on, exploiting, and you know what I'm saying, the way that
Sure.
the
You already are a
methodology,
billionaire.
the only methodology in this society that you can do it is if you have a cold heart and you really don't care about people. You can become a
Well,
billionaire if you don't care about people. If you have a cold heart and
hmm
you feel
well,
me, you don't care about the circumstances of all the ventures that you're doing and their exploitation that they're doing to people. If you don't care about that, then you can become. But the thing about it is, the society, the abundantness that I'm seeing is not. It has nothing to do with the dollar. It has nothing to do with the dollar. Like
well,
I see.
the dollar is only their mechanism that they use for you to put your money into, because once you turn your money into uh, worthless federal notes, you fall into their trap. Now you're messing with their currency. Their name is on it. You owe them
It's
this tax.
assidual.
Yeah, it's debt. Okay, so you're using this debt instrument as money, and then as long as you're using this debt instrument, you owe them.
Right, like you said, it's a debt, but not only it's a debt though, it's a sigil from which they put incantations on that motherfucker.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why
Hmm.
a lot of times, like I do the reverse ritual on all my money because I already know they put an incantation on the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I don't see my money. My money, I should. I put my money. It's in the form of it's e-money, or it's in here, or there. It's only when
Yeah,
I
I don't I
pull it
don't deal
out.
I don't deal with a lot of currency, but I see like currency is just more convenient when I want to do like transactions,
Yeah,
business transactions, and
transaction.
everything.
Yeah.
It's more convenient, but yeah, I got other mediums of exchange where I can, you know what I'm saying. I got a debit card. I also have like a Zelle, things of that nature. So it's like I don't have to have currency, but like I said, in the business I'm
Well,
doing, it's the
uh-huh.
easiest way for me to exchange and shit.
Well,
But
I
at the
could
end of the
use.
day, like you heard about they're ushering out a lot of those old dollars, right?
Yeah, I gave you we went the website, the Fed Now.
Right.
They're
They
gonna
they
come out with
said
Fed Now.
that any all those dollars that's before 2000 something or whatever, they said they're not gonna be any good anymore.
Well, they're coming out next May with Fed Now, this federal e-money that we're gonna have to use. Some bullshit, but
So they basically trying to slowly but surely usher out physical currency, basically.
yeah. And so whatever type of money or exchange, they want to have absolute control.
See,
And
but this
then,
all it all just gives more reverence to what we're doing with the body politics, bro. Creating a social trust, creating a social trust, right? So now we basically have the authority to create our own currency at that moment, or create our own monetary system. You know what I'm saying? So this is
well,
why.
first we're gonna have to break this one, and then take all that money, break it, get just corner something.
I don't think we would
Show
have to break theirs before we can have a viable one. I just think we would have to change the way we're doing business. Is like, for example,
oh, dude, this death cross that's coming next year.
China and Russia are slowly but surely uh, divesting from the dollar.
Okay, apart from that, when America sneezes, everybody else catches the cold regardless. Okay, don't forget about that. All right, and so
I mean,
our
that's just what
monetary,
that seems that's I'm not that's not definitive. A lot of times you say that and that's not definitive. That just
but
seems to me
but it,
propaganda.
and no, it's not propaganda. When America sneezes, everybody else catches the cold,
I
and
know I heard that
since
before.
everybody
I'm not denying the saying. I'm just denying is that reality? Is the actual reality? I'm doubting is that actual reality
regardless, if
or if
there's a
it's just
cause and effect. There's this cause and effect. There's this such cause and effect as when America sneezes, most of the world catches a cold. That is a true cause and effect that's been happening. Okay, now I'm just trying to explain something that's here now that everybody should really know because it's right here facing us all. And we've been through it before. Last time we've been through this was in 2019 going into 2020, right before the COVID and 2008. And 2008, oh my God. But this time we're getting ready to make this death cross. When this death cross occur, this is going to be the steepest one ever in history. So everything, unless
bro. We don't understand none of that shit you're talking about, bro. You're gonna have to break it down in layman terms for us.
okay, I sent you a link. I wish you can share it on the screen.
I could, but that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to go like when we went offline just now, I was trying to go
Uh-huh.
on my computer and do it, but it stopped the show and shit when I was trying to transfer, and that's the only way I can share is on our
Damn.
computer. I was trying to do that to share on the
Okay.
computer, but it
It
wouldn't allow me to
shows
do it.
the show of Johnny Bravo. Let me
But
see.
the
It's
internet is working fairly good now, so next week I'll be able to probably share screen and everything because that's what was happening. Is the internet on my computer? I don't know what's all wrong with this goddamn computer. Is that the internet work on all my computers except that one right here, man? That shit's tripping me out, man.
yeah, that's I know that's how things work. I might be able to show you on the screen here when this commercial comes on. You'll be able to hear it.
They're like, I'll be back in a year. So when that thing beats that thing up there, that is when the Fed said pivot. Also, looking back, when people would say, "Oh, the Fed's behind the curve," no, the Fed's just stupid. And the bond market was taken off. Yields were
Did
taken
he
off.
say the feds are just stooges?
Like,
Stupid.
bro, how long are you gonna wait, man? Like this, you gotta fake it till you make it. That's basically my advice for marriage. Look.
Okay. Um, damn. Okay. That orange line is the
I
Fed
see the
fund rate.
chart. I see the chart. I see it.
That blue. The one at the top is the 2-year note. They're following the 2-year note. That's 2008. You see where they both converged?
Mm-hmm.
That was in 2008. That was the death cross. And then the Fed
And what does
fund
that
rate
mean?
went.
What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Because you said that before. What does that mean?
That means our economy goes. It crashes. Everything crashes. That was the Great Recession.
Mm.
All right. We can already
Right.
have another one now that's worse than that. This next crossing, when we do that again next year, either sometime in the first quarter or the first
Mm-hmm.
few weeks,
Right.
our best case, we have 4 months before we see the next crossing. That's the death cross that's
Listen, bro.
coming.
Look, I think we need to do because this show is for, and we
But I'm
see
gonna
the
tell you,
connection. We listen. Let me say because I see the connection between the economy, the spiritual world, and all that stuff too, right? But I think
mhm,
we need to do a show specifically on what you're talking about. Like we need to do like if you have time during the week, I know you're probably working now, but if you got any time during the week, later and on in the afternoon, we should do a show strictly about the markets, bro.
This market right here is called the 90-day euro dollars. That was 2000. Wait, that was 2008 crash. That was the crash. See that rise? That's the recession. See those big moves up? Those are recessions. That's where the smart money be at. You see big moves down? Those are rate hikes. Okay, this one is back down to where it was in 2006, 2007, right before 2008. This is going to be the big fat cash cow. This is the dairy farm full of fat cash cows. These are $1 million contracts. You can leverage these motherfuckers for $500, or you can buy them at the money for $1,000, $1,200. But the key is that's the short end of the yield curve. Yeah. You subtract the price of the contract by 100, and that'll tell you where it's projecting the Fed fund to be by the time of expiration. So the higher the price is, the higher the interest is projecting. Those are the ones you want to buy because they have further to come down. And you can just, these motherfuckers are traded 10 years out, and they're traded each year every 4 quarters, and they're probably serial months traded in between the 4 quarter months. And if so, that's stupid, dumb, crazy money. Right. I know how to tap into that shit.
Let's do it, man. I ain't
2000 shit in that year. I was buying these motherfuckers, man, for my clients when they were down here that low. Shit, when they got there, they fired me. I turned a few $1,000s into $1 million. They fired me and tried to take all my clients. We went to war. I went to another company and got them back, and they took me to arbitration. Spent thousands and thousands of dollars on legal fees, but I whooped their ass. And that was because I was making my clients money. They weren't. They were just fucking people over. But I was really helping people. So I looked at good. They looked at like some scumbags. But the only problem I had there, man, was just I was just too arrogant. I was partying my ass off, living life like a rock star. And that, you know, that, like I said, that's a window of opportunity. That window of opportunity closed on me when everything went, when I got taken out of the industry. It closed, but now that window of opportunity is back opening, and I'm ready.
I'm getting more familiar with, you know what I'm saying? We about to have to end the show too, but I'm getting more familiar with these concepts because what I'm about to do, bro, is going to coincide with all of that knowledge of the economy and how these markets work. All that's going to go hand in hand to what I'm doing with this trust that I'm creating, this social trust I'm creating. And I just went in, well, because, you know, I'm in a class for this shit, right? Because the last class we was in, right, they were talking about how to go to the bank as a foreign national and talk to the higher clerk who handled those accounts, right? A higher clerk that handled those accounts, right? And how to actually get a trust account, right? But as a foreign national, though. Boy, I swear this is gonna be next level shit, bro. Next level shit, bro. I'm trying to tell you, because at the end of the day, we're basically learning how to protect our properties on a whole nother level through international understanding certain international principles of how to ascend to treaties and allow those treaties and allow those treaties to just take precedent. Like we were just going into another class that I went to, because I'm in 2 classes. Another classes I went to, they was talking about the French Protectorate treaties, right? When the Sultan basically, they went into the history. The Sultan of Morocco, basically, he was a young sultan, and he basically got into debt with these European nations.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was he gave a power of attorney over Morocco. He gave power of attorney over Morocco to the French, and it was called the French Protectorate, right? So, but mind you, from their perspective, they said he surrendered over. No, he didn't, because everything was based in stipulations of older treaties, the Treaty of Madrid and the Treaty of Fez, right? So they was complying. The French was compliant to those treaties, not them, because most people will say, "Oh, the French conquered Morocco." You know that you can go into that history and say, "Oh, they conquered and occupied Morocco," but it wasn't a surrender, because it was all stipulated on older treaties, and that's how we was going into that shit. And I was like, "Wow!" So right now, France is basically what's the name? Most favored nation in the treaties. Most favored nation, and what that means is just they basically carry out. They basically are responsible for carrying out the stipulations of the treaties.
Okay. Well, when we take advantage of this, we can build some wealth to be able to transfer and do those things with. Serious wealth.
Right.
Okay. Because these indicators, I didn't show you these indicators. This is called the money flow index. This blue thing under there, it's at its lowest motherfucking level. Every time when it's at these low motherfucking levels, that's the time to be in this bitch. And the thing is, you can buy these with a lot of fucking time. You can buy these motherfuckers all the way out to March of next year. And then when those take off, when the Fed pivots next year, those motherfuckers are gonna take off. And then you buy the March. If there are serial months, which would be April, May, and then the quarter month would be June. Then the serial month would be July, August, and the quarter month would be September. And then the two serial months, and then the quarter months, and then you do the next year, and you suck those, and then you do the next year, and you suck those, and you do the next year, because this process is gonna be around for a minute. There's no limit to how much wealth that can be built here. I've seen it. I know it. I've done it. I've been in that dairy farm, milking the motherfucking cows. But I did it. I was doing it by myself.
Right.
I didn't
Man,
have.
it sounds interesting. I'm saying you telling me about it, and I got money to invest. So let me know. I got money to invest. I got fiat to invest. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
you
then
understand
we
what's
got.
going on.
I'll
There
show
is
you how
no
to open up your own self-directed trading account, because you need one of those.
right. You told
Yeah.
me about that, and it's I went to
Yeah.
my body, the body that I went to, and what happens is right now the treasury is like our treasury for our body is really not it's really not up to par yet. So you know what I'm
Well,
saying? Because of other
this thing.
expenses came up, or the whole thing that happened recently and shit. Is like we had to go into them funds and shit. So we building that
Well,
back up right now.
I
We building that
know,
back
but see,
up. So
opportunity and convenience do not walk down the street holding hands together, hugging and kissing. No, you got to go find one and go get the other. Them motherfuckers don't walk down the street holding hands. You gotta go. You gotta go fucking kidnap their ass. And this is the time. This is a desperate time. I showed you that death cross, man. That's just some serious shit. The one that's coming this time is going to be worse. It's going to be worse. That's going to change everything. That's gonna change the way niggas think for a long time.
I love it. I'm embracing it really personally. I embrace it
Well,
because
it's here.
these people are
I
so
showed it.
too entitled. These people are too entitled. These people are too arrogant. They need to be brung down a notch.
When that death cross happens, over, they become irrelevant, obsolete,
Mm.
unless shit they got the blood of the lambs. That used to be my fucking badass clothes when I was a broker, when I was pitching these $0, the blood of the lamb clothes. Because if you got these $0, you got the blood of the lamb. But if you don't have the $0, when the angel of death fly over, he taking all your wealth. Taking all your wealth. Because every time
Some
when the
people,
Fed
like I
pivot,
said, they need to be brung down a notch. If you ask me,
yeah. See, you're gonna need
they
some
need
blood
to
of
be
the
brung
lamb.
down.
Yeah, you got the blood of the lambs. You're gonna be laughing all the way to the bank. You don't, you say goodbye to your first, second, last born of your profits and wealth. Bye bye.
All right, with that, we got to end the show, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get
Okay.
ready for my next show.
All right. I say what I have to say. Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Next week.
We'll see y'all next week. Order out of chaos, chaos out of order.